偉大なるコリンスファミリーに入りたいっすか？いつでもどうぞっす。
Hello. I'm just gonna wait a few more seconds for people to come in. Hello everyone, thank you for making it here today. Yeah, so I just wanted to do a quick stream on kind of going over my thoughts on the CBT version of NTE. So I've been playing this game a little bit for the past week, but I really didn't want to make a video about it since it's, you know, closed beta. Everything's subject to change. But I kind of want to go over my thoughts on the overall premise of the game. So basically, I wrote down some notes on the side here. I basically have 3 different sections that I want to go through. The good, the average, and the bad. So when I say the good, I mean if I was like an NTE shill, that's the kind of stuff that I would say to make people, to try to convince people to play this game. The average is just like, you know, there's some minor gripes I had with the game, but it's nothing major, and I'm sure they can fix it. Or otherwise, it's just there. Some gameplay elements are just kind of there. And then the last portion, I'm just gonna focus on what I think it does kind of poorly, which I think there is like a few very core components of the game that I think just might not make it there. So yeah, I don't expect this stream to go on for very long, by the way. I'm thinking maybe half an hour to an hour. Again, I just didn't want to... I didn't feel like making a video for this topic. But anyways, first I just want to preface something before I get even started with the stream here. Now, a lot of people come into this game with pre-existing biases on how it works. Some players either want this game to succeed or they want it to fail. I probably don't need to say this, but NTE is launching into a world with kind of quite a lot of competition in this genre. So, I think deep down, right, I guess I'll start by asking a simple question here. Do you think the game benefits from more or less games? I would personally say it benefits from more. Like, deep down, I will want every single game to succeed. And I guess this is no exception. Can I get it here? Okay. I'm just gonna get in a car here, why not? When there is more games on the market, that means there is more competition. When there's more competition, then it drives products to be better, because people are competing for whoever is playing their game. So I guess deep down, in a way, I am biased for NTE to succeed. But as far as that goes, that is where my bias lies. However, deep down though, I can say this right now, I do not care if this game succeeds or fails at the end of the day. If it fails, I'm just gonna go, okay, well, that's a shame, I guess. I'm gonna go play a Nanta next. I'm gonna go play Arknights Enfield next. So, I have no emotional ties to NTE. The stuff I'm gonna say are just things that I think it does deserve compliment on, and things that deserve criticism. I guess I'll start with the good. So actually, let's say that you want NTE to crash and burn because you have pre-existing biases about the gacha games you play, and you cannot stand the idea of this new open world gacha competing with a game that you already enjoy. So let's say you come in with that existing bias. If NTE does end up succeeding though, that is actually beneficial to you. The reason is that even if you have no plans to play this game, because this is launching into a world of competition, this will naturally drive developers to make their games better. So I'm gonna go over some features that I really like in NTE. That'll hopefully make other developers go, okay, so what they're doing here is very unique, maybe we should put that in our game too. So yeah, we'll finally start with what I think are the strongest points of Neverness to Everness. First of all, by the way, this game looks very good. I just need to show this because my gaming rig is like 5 years old, so I can't run this game on Ultra. This is running on balance mode. Graphics personally does not matter to me, but if it matters to you, I suppose yes, you could criticize that the game doesn't look that good where it's not very optimized. I can't show it off when it's raining, but when it rains, it looks really nice. And also, some animations just didn't work for me in this test beta. When I go into the gameplay portions, you might see some animations just not play where they glitch out. I don't know why this happens, but if you wanted to see what the animations look like, you can just look it up online. Let's see. Alright, so we'll start with the actual good stuff. We'll go into the gacha now. So as you know, first of all, let me claim these gifts. You're very likely not gonna get these gifts in the actual version, the actual release. They basically give you all the resources you want for free. But we're gonna go over the gacha first. One of the strongest points about NTE is it's 100% rate up. So when you... I'll just go to this one. This is the standard banner. This is what it looks like. It's on a game board, essentially. Every time you roll a dice, and then you land on a square. Now, if you were around for the last live stream, I basically stated that this entire game board gimmick does not matter. There is no strategy or skill involved in rolling the gacha. What I would just recommend is just literally skip it like this. And I'm gonna see if I can't show this off, but basically on the top left, there is a section where there is... You basically have to pull 70 times to get a soft pity. So we're just gonna do this. Okay, so I'm at 40. 50. And I think 70. Oh no, it actually gave it to me. Okay, I guess I can't really show this off then. But basically, when you get to 70 pity, these squares with the gold boxes will turn into SSRs. So that's basically its way of signaling to you that you are close to the pity. So if you land on an SSR, you get the character. Now this does quite a lot of things, because psychologically this is very powerful. My suggestion is to just ignore this entire game board existing. There is a phenomenon in gambling, I'm not sure how many people have heard of it, called the near-miss effect. Basically, if let's say you land on a square that's like 1 square away from a gold box or a gold SSR, that feeling can be as exhilarating as actually landing it. So, my suggestion, just skip this entire process. The SSR rate, I believe, is 1% flat, and then it increases with soft pity. So the... let's see if I can find... Yeah, so 1%. Now, just because the gacha pity is 100%, it doesn't mean that they're not gonna find ways to claw it back. So for example, if you take a look at who is on rate up, there's 3 A rank characters. The problem is that these are actually the only A rank characters in the entire game right now. I'm not sure how many people here play Tower of Fantasy, but the SRs in that game are essentially just stepping stones. They're useless. So, a couple ways I can see them clawing this back with the 100% rate up when it actually releases is the A rank characters either are just kind of useless. The poll income is very low for all players, or it is reliant on dupes. So that's some possible ways they can claw this back, because this almost looks too good to be true, right? 100% rate up. Another aspect, this game does not have a weapon banner type. If you take a look here, how you get weapons, they're called arcs in this game. Every single character has like a character trait, so Mint here is emotive. Yeah, so the main character is instinctive. Basically, you can technically use any arc with any kind of trait. The problem is that if you don't match them with the same trait, you don't get a certain buff. So this is kind of like a soft requirement. In my opinion, this might as well be a hard requirement, because there's no way you will equip a arc that you don't get a buff for. That's just kind of stupid. How you get the arcs, according to some of the dev live streams, is that you either just get them by playing the game in events, or if you go to the shop here, there is an arc shop. You can, at least in the CBT, you can just buy any of the SSR arcs just with this key currency. There is also a arc gacha of sorts, so it's not technically like an actual gacha banner, but you can still pull, well, quote-unquote pull for the arcs. So there's that. Another good argument I can make is that the dupe system is very... How do I get it here? You can actually turn off certain dupes, dupe buffs. So let's say this is the main character, and this is like Mint, who's the 4-star. Is this live? Yes, this is live. So you can actually turn these buffs off. So let's say you don't want this buff for some reason. You can tailor your build in a way that fits your playstyle. So I thought that's kind of cool. Something else, I also dabbled with the RNG relics. So the relics in this game is something called the console. So what you do is there is a slot in the middle here that's like a, well, it says cartridge. You can remove this, but basically the cartridges have their own main stats and a set bonus. Now, one of the strongest points I can make is that if you take a look on the screen on the right side, the substats are already predetermined. So you get to preview what the substats are when you get a certain cartridge or module. So let's say I have this cartridge here that gives me crit damage. If I go into the modules, if you look on the right, I don't know how I can kind of zoom in, but on the right side it says Lost Radiance, and then there's 4 different pieces. This basically means that you have to fit these 4 types of these shapes into this box to get the full benefit of this set bonus. So that's also kind of cool, I thought. And then every single character actually has a different shape. So it kind of becomes a unique challenge to fit the boxes in everyone. For a minute there, I thought it was so put together. Oh, I wrote down like a page of notes here because I don't plan for this stream to go on for very long. All right, so that's pretty cool. I'll show you how the farming works a bit later. But this is quite cool how it works. So let's say I'll actually upgrade something here. Let's see which one I do. So let's say I put this shape into the grid here. And then I click enhance. If you look on the right side, when I upgrade this piece to 10, I will get exactly what it displays here. So if I do, yeah, they give out quite a lot of free resources, but we'll just do it. So this gets upgraded to 10, and I get the substat. Now, I would say, you know, there's still some ways they can claw this back. I'll kind of go over how stamina is kind of utilized later. But this is, you know, this is pretty unique, I would say. You might not think it's all that unique, but come on, this is kind of cool. All right. So now, I'm going to present the strongest argument that I have for this game. And I think a lot of you guys would agree. Alright, hopefully you guys are ready for this. So here we have the character, I think her name is Hathor. So she's like a biker, right? By the way, her face looks a little weird. Like, she looks so sleepy, but, you know, that's besides the point. Here is something that's really cool. Just take a look. I'm hoping you can see the argument that I'm presenting. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So if you want some quality Gunner material, you got it. That's the strongest argument I can make. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna go over what I think are just kind of average. These are features or just mechanics I think, okay, well, I guess it's there, but I don't suppose it's gonna really convince anyone that people are gonna play it. It's just kind of okay, I guess. First of all, I just want to comment on the story. I'm not sure how many people were here for the first stream. I went through a couple of the story chapters, and I just thought it was kind of mid. It's just super... It's fine, I guess. It's just that it doesn't feel very unique or makes you really care about the characters. So basically, your character here, you basically joined during like an operation where like a group of hunters are hunting down an anomaly. And then your character also has amnesia, as usual with all gacha protagonists for some reason. So you were instructed to join like an antique shop staff in charge of also dispelling anomalies. And the story is kind of episodic, where you solve mysteries for different clients within the city. And at least that's how the story is going right now. I played through 2 of the missions, and it felt like the game was basically just trying to sell the characters to you. I think the gacha motive of storytelling is in full swing in NTE. At least, I know story is extremely subjective, so if you disagree, that's totally fine. But in my opinion, if you're playing this game because you want to get connected or invested in characters or feeling emotional attachment to them, I don't believe you will be getting it here. So the story is just fine. It makes sense, it's coherent, it's fine. I don't think a gacha game needs to have a good story to be a good game, but that's my thoughts on the story. Okay, so I'll go over what your daily activities look like next. I think it's this tab here. Yeah, so here is your dailies. It'll basically ask you to upgrade some characters or just run through some commissions. So the entire city is actually not that big. There's like 4 different teleport points that you can drive around. But there is a way that you can toggle the map so you get to like this other dimension almost. If you look on the top right, there are two types of stamina in this game. The first is city stamina, the other one is just normal stamina. So to spend city stamina, I'll just show what this looks like. There are these icons with these, I don't know what to call these, but basically what you do typically is that you just drive like a truck from point A to point B. Let me see, can I do this one? Okay, I'll just do this one really quickly. Yeah, but I do like the city. I do like the city aesthetics. It's pretty cool. So you meet up with this guy here. And then he's gonna just ask you to do something. Oops, okay. We're gonna get in the truck. And then there will be a timer on the top. You basically just deliver the package from point A to point B. I don't know how long this will take, but I'll just go through it just to let you know what it looks like. So one thing I do like the radio. There's some really cool songs in the radio. I'm hoping that they're gonna add more, by the way. Yeah. So I don't know what the destination is. Okay, it's actually quite far away. That's fine, I'll just do the whole thing. I do think that the game is suffering from a few optimization issues. This game is running on balance mode right now, so I don't imagine it looks as good because you'll have, you know, I'm hoping you can see the pop-ins in the distance. If you have a really beefy rig, then yes, this game can look pretty good. Is there first-person drive? I think there is, actually. Just gonna wait till this goes. Okay. Like this. There is first-person drive if you want to do that. This is not... I mean, you technically don't have to do this as a daily mission, but I'll just show you why you would do this, I guess. I think I'm almost there. Someone pointed out this is not very compelling. Yes, you are exactly right. This is the problem. The thing about the city commissions is that you literally just drive a giant truck, and I actually have not seen any variations to this. I thought it might have been pretty cool if, let's say, you get ambushed by some gang members or ethereals in the middle and you have to defend the truck, but no. You just drive the truck. So you go into this zone and then you'll hop out. You just talk to the NPC to complete the quest. So the commission's completed and you get some upgrade materials. And you get, I guess you get graded on this, but to be honest, this is just it's extremely unchallenging. It's extremely easy to do. After you're done, I'll show you what it looks like now. So City Commission, this stamina actually recovers extremely slowly. If you take a look at the full recovery time, I just spent 60 doing this commission, and it's gonna take me an entire day to recover it. So you don't need to do this every single day. I mean, technically you have to do one every single day, but yeah. So that's how City Stamina works right now. It's just kind of, it's there. Again, it's not something that I would say it's gonna drive people away. I'm just saying that it's there. It's fine, I guess. So next I'll show you... I will show the actual stamina system. I will go to this dungeon here. But this is one of the dungeons for farming materials. This is where you farm the cartridges for the artifacts. So we're just gonna do. Let's go with. I forgot which one I was doing. Okay, we'll do this one. So each run costs 30 stamina. And by the way, there's no loading screen when you go in. I'm gonna start combat here. Now, just a warning. I've said this when I started the stream, but some of the animations just don't work correctly for me. They either sometimes just don't play, or they just, like, glitch out. So we'll see how, how our mileage goes today. Yeah. If you want to see the alt animations, just look them up online. They do look very cool. But for this test beta, some of the features just didn't work for me. I've also seen some people think that the enemies are a little bullet spongy, or just spongy, I guess. I honestly think it's fine. I didn't find it to be that big of an issue. Like, for example, I'm just using normal attack, and it's taking me a long time to kill these things. The only thing is that you are likely gonna have to use a bunch of skills where you use, like, once you learn how elemental affinities work, I'm guessing that it will go by a lot smoother. There is also a dodge mechanic. I'm gonna see if I can pull it off. There's like a counter attack, and then I don't know if you see that little white bar just below their health bar. If you manage to deplete it, they basically get stunned, and then they take like a giant dose of damage. Alright, I think I'm almost done here. The ultimates do have cutscenes, it's just they don't play correctly for me for some reason. So after you're done, you go to this terminal and then you claim your rewards. The problem right now is that there's no way to spend stamina in bulk, so you have to just keep doing 30s every single time. I do think this is gonna drive people away, because I don't know how many people are willing to farm this 6 times every single day. So once you're done, you get some cartridges, and then you get these coins. Now, what the coins do is that you use it to get the blocks, essentially. So there's 3 different tiers. I imagine you'll get this one when you're actually in the late game. We'll just use the 10 here. So an animation plays, and then you get the shapes. So this is how you farm for the modules to fit in those consoles. In the normal version, this is like the purple tier 2 version. You can actually set 8 pieces as the ones that will drop. So if a block drops, it is guaranteed to be one of the 8 that you selected. You are allowed to put duplicates, but if you use a duplicate, the coins needed per pull goes up. So if I don't have any duplicates here, a single pull costs 80 coins. If I do use a duplicate, it goes up to 90. If I do 3 duplicates, it goes up even more. So we're just gonna get rid of this. So if you pull once, it's basically the same thing. I'm just gonna skip it. So stamina also takes quite a while to spend. As you saw there, I basically just spent 30 points of stamina. If I go to like the Ascension materials here, every single run, it really doesn't give you a lot of upgrade materials. Now this is a test beta, so they give a lot of resources back to you. So you're likely gonna you have no problems leveling everyone in the beta, but when the actual release comes, I don't believe you'll be so lucky. So stamina system again, it's just kind of there. It's fine, I guess. Next up, I guess I'll go for the driving. So the driving in the current beta is a little bit broken. At least if you use keyboard and mouse. I'll show you what I mean. First, you can go to like a dealer and then buy vehicles. I already have one, but I'll just show you what it looks like. If you press T on the keyboard, you can basically select one of the vehicles that you own. The problem is that if you have an actual car, you cannot summon it until you're on a road. So you have to run over to a road and then summon it here. You get in the car and then you can drive. The handling of the vehicles, at least if you use a keyboard and mouse, is not good. At least right now. It just doesn't feel very good. Like, let's say I want to drift, right? I go here and I press space. Like, drifting just doesn't work on a keyboard and mouse. Like this. I wanted to drift this corner, so it doesn't work. However, if I use a controller, so I have a PS5 controller here, I'm gonna drive using the controller, and it feels 10 times better to drive using a controller. And then suddenly, as you can see, you are able to drift now. So it's in the game. Like, the driving mechanics are in the game. It's just, it doesn't feel too good with the keyboard and mouse. But yes, I imagine this will be like fixed when the actual release comes. Yes, there are racing mini games, but I wasn't able to get into it. And then I guess I'll just show. If you go to certain shops on the map, I think I'll go to this one, for example. So with the common gold currency, there's actually two types of it. If you go into your inventory and you try to upgrade a character, for example, it requires this gold thing. It's called a beetle coin. However, if you buy things within the city, it uses a different kind of money. I think I can show what it looks like if I go here. Actually, it's over there. I'm running this game on balance mode because my computer can't run it on ultra. If you have a good gaming rig, you can probably, the shadows are not gonna pop in, or the textures are not gonna pop in for you. So if you come over here, what you can do is that you can actually purchase certain property and then hire your roster to run the shop for you. I'm not sure how I do it here, but there should be like a management menu. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Yeah. You basically have to like resupply your shops, and then they will generate revenue for you. And then there's all sorts of traits and perks that you can assign to each of your characters. So some characters are gonna be better at running certain shops than others. So that's how you get this kind of. It looks like the black card from PGR, but that's what this is. So there's multiple property you can buy at the moment. This is just one of them. Where you can use said said money is, I'm gonna go to... Can I go here? You can go to like a dealership, a car dealership, and then you buy the cars. That's what you use like this kind of money for. In addition to cars, you can also buy apartments. So I'm sure everyone have seen what the apartment customization looks like. You can go to one of the real estate shops, and then you buy like an apartment. So this is the one that I bought. I have not gone too far into decorating yet because I don't know how that works. But this is what it looks like. You can like go outside. And then you can, it should be able to, I think it's gonna let you decorate it here. Yeah, so here's your menu. You can put the stuff down. I don't have any furniture right now because I didn't get too deep into this. But essentially, you get your own customized base. If this kind of thing happens, if you like this kind of thing. If you go outside, someone said this, can you jump off? Yes, you actually can. So there's no loading screens. You can just straight up jump off and then go back into the city this way. So yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. I think it's just okay. Again, it's one of those features I'm just here like, okay, I guess that's in the game. That's cool, I guess. Another thing is that this game tends to have a pretty big focus on the driving aspects. So let's say that I want to cash in my collectibles in the open world. So you can basically collect open world tokens, basically in every single open world gacha game, and then you trade it in for rewards. So the place where you turn in the rewards, it's here. The problem is that you see that there's actually no teleport point. I guess the nearest one is here. The thing is that even if you teleport to the nearest point, you have to run to the actual place, which will take you a while. I don't know why they can't just put like a teleport point right beside it, but there you go. And as for climbing walls, you can actually climb most surfaces in this game, but not all of them. So that little raven there is an example of what a collectible looks like. I don't know if I can get it here. Okay, I got it. Nice. So you collect those ravens, and then you go to the witch to claim it. To basically cash it in for tokens. But it's still gonna take me a while to get there. I'm not sure if I can jump here. Okay, I can. So... Okay. It becomes all misty, that's on purpose, but you go to this witch. And then, let's see here. So with the tokens that you collect, you can trade it in for rewards. So there's that. Lastly, I kind of want to go over what I believe is the biggest current roadblock that I think this game has right now. There's only one on this list, but it's quite a core issue, I want to say. So as some people would know, this game is using a lot of elements of GTA. Basically, with the driving and everything else. Now the question is, can you steal cars in this game? The answer is sometimes. If I can find like a... Well, first of all, with these parked cars, you just straight up can't steal them. You can't steal these cars. I'm gonna see if I can go to like a driver that's... Okay, alright, don't run me over, please. So you go up to their car, And then there's like an option called requisition.
私は収容二課の
Basically, you you kind of just ask them if you can use their car. And sometimes they will agree. So Mint kind of helped me out there. But yes, you can steal certain cars in this game. The problem is that it doesn't work all the time. Some people just refuse to let you use their car. So there's that. The inherent problem is that it makes sense for characters in GTA to steal cars because you play as a criminal. In any gacha game, I don't believe it's possible that they will let you play as a criminal. Now, how the wanted system works is that if you... You can't run over pedestrians, by the way. Like, if you run them over, you just go through them, so... yeah. Now, in the icon right below the map, there is like a... That's what the wanted level looks like. If you crash into certain objects, like this railing, it increases that bar, as you can see. And then when you get to a star, that's when cops will start chasing you. I also want to show off something else. Let's see if there's a shop nearby. Actually, I'll just drive there. Why not? Okay. I'm just gonna go to the shop here. Don't mind my driving skills, I was never that good at GTA. So I'm gonna go to this shop. I'm hoping I can enter it. So you can buy stuff at the convenience shop. I'm just gonna ignore it. However, something else you can do is that you can actually steal items from the shop. If you steal an item, well, it says it will increase your warrant, but I guess it's just broken right now. The problem here is that is there actually any gaming features or how it closely ties to the lore on why you will be stealing an item from a shop? Because I don't believe there will be any point in the main story where your your buddies will be like, oh hey, you should go steal that car. You should go steal that item from the shop. It's just not gonna happen. So this is just here as a gimmick. The stealing and the warrant system, right now it does not tie in any way on how like the game works. As in, the game does not present your playable character as a criminal. So I think they just don't lean into the GTA aspects the most right now. And I think that's kind of a core problem. So in a way, the elements are kind of disconnected. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Exactly. It sounds fun, but it's kind of pointless. Something else is that I do really like the way the city is designed, because there's a lot of different locations where it's like a countryside, where it's like an actual city. My only concern is that if you go into the map here... Can I go in the map? Okay. Because NTE is like an urban environment, I would say one of the biggest challenges that the game is going to face is how they're going to design new cities. Because with cities, you really have to kind of think outside the box on how to make them look unique. If I drive around the city here, you have to imagine when they make expansions to the map with different patches or updates, how differently will the map look? So that's also one of my concerns. One of my biggest concerns with this game. Yeah, I was hoping it... actually, can I wait? I just want to show everyone what it looks like when it's raining, because it looks very nice. Okay, you can wait. Oh, you can actually wait till it's raining. That's nice. So one aspect is that this game does look very atmospheric. Like when it rains, and then you're just there listening to the radio, I think you can have a pretty good time. Now back in the day, I played GTA San Andreas a lot. And one of my fondest memories was just driving through the countryside while it's raining outside and then listening to the radio. I think as atmospherically, this game it's on point. It's very good. Yeah, it's a very good vibe, basically. So, I guess I'll just end off the last portion of the stream here. My question is, do I think this game actually has a chance in today's market? My answer, or at least my prediction, is yes. I think it absolutely has a chance. If they fix a lot of the quality of life issues, and just how the overall optimization of the game works, I think this game has a really good shot at making it in the market. And something I think people have to understand is that the developers for this game has experience. They created Tower of Fantasy. Now, granted, Tower of Fantasy is not, you know, the best game out there, but they definitely learned something. I think it's not unreasonable to believe that they've definitely learned something. But yeah, that's pretty much my first impressions of this game. I do think it has a real good potential. It just depends on how they're gonna kind of handle everything. I would say the combat could, you know, the animations could be a bit more fluid. I would say the systems would need a little bit more tying in to make sure how everything you do feels consistent on how the lore is handled. But I think people will play this game. This game will do just fine. Do I think it will release this year? I actually don't think so. I don't believe NTE will release this year. If it does, it will be at the very end of 2025. I know Duet Night Abyss announced that it will be releasing by the end of this year. Parts of me doubt that as well. I think there's a chance it might get delayed. If I look at the state of the game right now, I think they've got a pretty good premise. But parts of me think that it's not ready. It's not going to be ready this year. Yeah. I do think the combat could use some tweaking as well. So yeah, that's kind of my overall impressions of the game. I think we've gone on for around 48 minutes. I'm just going to leave the stream up for those that weren't able to make it to the stream. And yeah, I think this is it for the CBT first impressions. Let me know if you guys are interested for the game, though. I know this is one of the most highly anticipated gacha games coming this or next year. So, there's that. But anyways, I appreciate everybody for being here today. I'm just gonna work on a new video for the rest of the weekend. And yeah. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a good rest of the day.